If I told you that a rugged phone just came out, but it doesn't look rugged, because what I have here is the ROOT1 XEVER 7 Pro, a phone that breaks the rules. 120 Hz active matrix organic light emitting diode display, Dimensity 7025, chip 12, GB expandable RAM, 512 GB expandable storage. Features night vision cameras, FLIP thermal sensor, and a removable interchangeable battery. In the middle of 2025, all of this in a body that weighs just over 300 grams, but with IP68 and IP69K certifications and military standards. Today we're going to put it to the test. We'll review its power, camera, sound, interchangeable battery system, and included accessories. Get ready, because this XEVER 7 Pro could be the most complete rugged phone of the year. So join me here on TechGround. The brand ROOG1 is the new division of Jewel Phone officially introduced at the 2025 International Funkausstellung in Berlin. I had the opportunity to attend, where I was able to see this model for the first time, and it was, without a doubt, one of the most outstanding launches of the FED. Its mission is clear: to design rugged, modular, and comfortable to use phones. The XEVER 7 Pro represents exactly that, a device ready for anything, but with the aesthetics and lightness of a smartphone. So, without further ado, let's get to the unboxing and I'll show you what's inside the box. Well, we have a completely unusual box, not what we're used to seeing with a phone. This packaging has a super premium finish. The box is completely black, with some details on the sides and on the top featuring engravings of the boat. There is an orange stripe on the front with the number 7. And as soon as we open the box, what we find is the device really well protected in this groove, in this, let's say, plastic tray right underneath. When we remove this little cover, we can already see the accessories box appear. We also see the dock, and we see the 33W fast charger. This charger and the dock look like they're straight out of a Star Trek movie because of the color, the finish, and the dock itself. It also comes with another battery included, so we're going to have 2 batteries in this one. What's in the little box? In this black box, we see the replacement cover, this military cover. The USB-C cable, a pretty well-built cord, and also with the same look as the dock and the power adapter. User manual, and here's the pick to work with it and remove the tray and accessories. And this tempered glass that Ulefone always includes, in this case, RugOne, for their devices. It's a pretty tough tempered glass. And that's everything that comes in this box, this super sleek finish, the very premium packaging of the new RugOne line. On this XEVER 7 Pro, let's talk about the physical design and the build quality. The XEVER 7 Pro measures 173 mm tall, 84 mm wide, and 14 mm thick, in a structure made of reinforced aluminum and technical polymers. Everything is very well fitted, very well built, with no strange creaks, and also very well assembled in terms of design. On the top edge, we have the 3.5mm jack to plug in our headphones or speakers, the super flashlight, and the infrared sensor to control devices remotely. On the right edge, there are separate volume buttons and a lock-unlock button with a fingerprint sensor. And also the customizable button with this little orange, shiny finish and textured surface, to be able to launch our camera directly on the bottom edge. On the only speaker, where you'll also find the USB-C connector and the 2 contact pins, so we can connect our charging dock and not have to keep plugging in the cable. And, of course, the main microphone, which is also located here. On the left side, this edge is well protected, and it has another customizable button for shortcuts, opening apps, turning on the flashlight, and more. And the tray, which we can take out either with a fingernail or directly with the tool we can insert. Both SIM cards and the storage card. On the rear module, we find the main 50-megapixel camera with optical image stabilization, the 64-megapixel night vision camera with infrared LEDs, and the forward-looking infrared LEPTON 3.5 thermal sensor, accompanied by an auxiliary white LED flash. And here comes the little gem, and on the back, we have a clip at the bottom to open the cover and remove the battery at any time. The interchangeable cover comes with a contact so we know when it's connected. and you have to be careful and make sure it's properly sealed, although with just a single press, it will close without any problem. As you can see, it's a unique design and a pretty minimalistic and modern one, but at the same time, it has that classic structure. The main screen is 6.67 inches and offers 120 Hz, refresh rate, and a maximum brightness of 2200 nits. Ideal for outdoor use with Gorilla Glass Victus protection. On the back, as I mentioned, what stands out is its cover with a metallic finish, but it's made of reinforced plastic with the little tab. The one I mentioned that slides so you can remove the battery. Even so, the system maintains the IP69K certification thanks to an internal rubber gasket that ensures sealing after each battery change. The military replacement cover is also made of sturdy plastic with the same metallic texture and is designed to swap whenever you want and choose your style. Now let's discuss the non-operational specifications, and under the hood is the Dimensity 7025 offering 8 cores at 2.5 GHz on a 6nm architecture. The company provides 12GB RAM, expandable to 24GB virtually, and 512GB storage expandable to 2TB with microSD. And the system runs on Android with the lightweight RugOne operating system layer, which is smooth, clean, and free of bloatware. For gaming, this phone isn't fully dedicated to gaming use, but it's run every game I've tested without issues. These are titles I typically try out on the channel. And honestly, it runs incredibly well in Call of Duty. Even in Asphalt, which also requires certain graphics, you can't see it as sharp or as smooth as on other phones we've tested. But honestly, it works properly. Let's talk a little more in depth about the screen, since this 6.67-inch active matrix organic light emitting diode panel offers. It delivers vivid colors, strong contrast, and clear visibility in sunlight, thanks to the 2200 nits. As for the sound, like I said, we have a single speaker. This is what I find a bit more unfavorable. I would have expected it to have at least a stereo speaker. It doesn't sound bad, but it's not powerful. It can reach around 95 to 100 decibels, but once covered, the sound disappears. Here's a sample so you can hear how this device sounds. Subscribe. Now, moving to the camera, the main lens has 50 megapixels with optical image stabilization delivering sharp, vibrant, and natural images without artificial effects. The 64 megapixel night vision with 4 infrared LEDs lets you see and record in complete darkness, as well as thermal imaging. Forward-looking infrared LEPTON 35. It's ideal for technical work, inspections, or outdoor use, especially for those with a professional focus. The rear camera lacks a telephoto lens. We'll have a 4x zoom, which doesn't look bad, but it's true that, well, it has its shortcomings at 1x and 2x. Pretty good, but once we go beyond that, it's true that we start to lose a bit of quality. What I like is that it can record up to 2K, but you can't use stabilization. However, in full high definition, you can use digital stabilization. You may not notice it much, but upgrading from full high definition to 2K is actually a noticeable change. If the frame rate can't be selected, we'll record at up to 30 frames per second, and it allows us to make pretty decent videos for a ROOTJETPHONE, and having about 50 megapixels, they're also pretty well achieved, with a good dynamic range. Here are some quick tests. Now it's time for the rear camera on this ROOT1 XEVER 7 Pro. We're with the sun right above us. The maximum 2K resolution it allows doesn't have digital stabilization enabled because it only allows that in full high definition. I'm walking. Honestly, it stabilizes pretty well. Let's see now how it focuses on these plants. If I get closer, honestly, the focus works pretty well, even though there's a little movement from the wind. Let's see. I always like to come to this part here to test the horizon. We're at 1x-1 now. At 1x-2, notice the detail. Let's go to the max, 1x-4, and I'll walk. Although it lacks digital stabilization and behaves oddly, it still stabilizes quite well. I'm telling you, the light polarization is pretty good. It has a good dynamic range with pretty blue skies, very vivid colors, and the saturation is quite accurate. Also, let's try with stabilization now, with full high definition, which does allow us, okay, we're using full high definition right now. Now it does allow us to use stabilization. I'm gonna move a bit. It doesn't seem to have much jelly effect as it's usually called. I'm walking, take a look. And it seems to stabilize pretty well. Let's check the changes from shadow to light. The sensor is still working well. Is its perception still good? Yes, there's a slight crop compared to the other one, obviously due to sensor stabilization. I'm going to zoom in up there now on the leaves. We're at a maximum of 4x. I'm going to pan compared to the other one. And you can definitely notice a bit how the image floats. How the sensor handles the compensation axis at this 4x zoom. So that's it. This is the real test of this ROOT XEVER 7 Pro in the different high quality recording modes with and without stabilization. Rear camera, now nighttime conditions. Here we are in a lot of light. Let's pivot a bit toward the roundabout, which has a bit more light. We're at maximum quality. This is how it looks, this is how it sounds. This front camera in nighttime conditions of this ROOT, one ROOT 7 Pro front camera with 32 megapixels, which is for selfies and video calls. The truth is that it's pretty good, it's quite noticeable, and as I said, it looks consistent with what the device offers. Same here, we'll leave recordings from day and night so you can hear the difference. Front camera of this ROOT XEVER 7 Pro. Here we are with lighting changes. As usual, I test it with light for dynamic range and it performs well. We have good stabilization and we're at the highest quality this selfie camera allows. As you can see, the lighting changes. The sun is pretty high up. I stand against it. It seems like it's working pretty well. I'm going to step into the shade here to see the change in lighting. And well, it seems like it also recovers these shadows pretty well. The highlights in the back aren't too blown out. This is the real test, arm fully extended. I'm walking right now, as you can see, and it seems to keep the stabilization very well. And the sound is what I noticed before, which I think isn't completely optimal. But well, the image quality is quite good with this front camera of this ROOT. I wanted to leave you with this in selfie mode, which we have as an option, right? Many phones let you zoom on the front camera, but we offer an extra feature. And here we have a 2x zoom. Notice the quality it offers, pretty good front camera. Now in nighttime conditions with this ROOT one, this XEVER 7 Pro, it offers us a maximum quality of full high definition on its front camera. I'm walking, and it seems like the stabilization looks pretty good. It's true that it generates a bit of noise, but anyway, judge for yourselves how this front camera looks and sounds in nighttime selfie mode. Let's move to the battery and power section, which includes two removable 5,550 milliamp batteries. It's not a lot, but it has 33 watt fast charging and also 10 watt reverse charging. Each battery will give us more than a day of autonomy, and the dual charging dock lets you always have one ready for swapping. It's not a very big battery, but to keep this structure so slim, well, you couldn't really ask for much more. 5,000, 6,000 mAh is quite good, and since it doesn't have an extraordinary power demand either, well, it does the job perfectly. Another important thing is that it comes with the toolbox, which is logical and necessary in all ROOT phone. It includes the tall book center with functions like level, compass, protractor, decibel meter, inclinometer, flashlight, vibration sensor, drainage, and more for those adventurers or field professionals. Regarding connectivity and security, well, let's see what we have. 5G compatibility. It features Wi-Fi 6 Bluetooth 5.3 near-field communication global positioning system, dual eSIM, and micro SD. It has smart anti-theft lock that deactivates the phone if it leaves a designated area. The side fingerprint sensor works perfectly, very fast, even with wet hands, and the facial recognition and in Save Our Souls mode set up and good for daily use. The XEVER 7 Pro behaves like a high-end device. It's very fast, it's very smooth, with zero overheating. The dock is one of its most convenient features. It lets you charge the phone and the extra battery without loose cables, and it also looks good on the desk when you put it on. And well, let's get to the conclusions now, just to wrap things up a bit. This is the RugOne XEVER 7 Pro unveiled at Internationale Funkausstellung Berlin 2025. As I was saying, and it's one of the smartest proposals of its kind. A phone that combines extreme durability, a removable battery, a pretty premium display, decent sound, and useful accessories. Right away, what it doesn't have is the U-Smart, that connection we're used to seeing on Ulefone. But the finish of its back cover, although it's plastic, gives off a high-quality metallic feel. And the accessory ecosystem, with its extra dock and extra case, really makes it complete. Areas to improve: its weight, which comes from its build. Still, it's not that heavy. Sealing after a battery change is tense. You must handle the cover carefully. But beyond that, it's a well-rounded phone. Functional, powerful, and with a design that's very well thought out and really good. Its price will be around 699 euros. And honestly, I think for everything it offers, it's a mid-range phone leaning towards high-end, so it's a pretty balanced purchase. If you like this review, leave a like, subscribe, and let me know in the comments. What do you think about the new modular concept from RugOne? As always, the link is in the description. We appreciate everything you can tell us, and we'll see you in the next TechGround video. A big hug, and may technology be with you. See you soon.